Hello BookTube, this is Juan from Just One Reader. I figured I haven't done a Friday Reads video in ages, so like the Jekyll and Hyde song suggests, this is the moment. This is the moment, this is the time. Anyway, I want to give you a quick update on my reading. I've been having a crazy time with my work. My job is crazy right now, which is great. My reading has certainly suffered a little. I'm still trying to manage at least 30-45 minutes every morning, just completely dedicated to my reading, so that stays intact. But it's harder. It is harder than it has been previously. But anyway, I have been reading consistently, and that's something that I really value. So a book that I finished, I think last week, was On Writing by Stephen King. And I will be going, into further detail and more depth regarding all of these books in my incoming February wrap-up. But just to give you a quick overview, On Writing by Stephen King is a nonfiction. It's kind of like a memoir, but also like a class or a series of lessons on the subject of writing and being a writer and being a reader and all those sorts of things by Stephen King. I actually really enjoyed this. I gave it maybe 4 stars, I think. I don't really remember the rating that I gave it on Goodreads, but I think it's like a 4-star read. I really enjoyed some parts of it. Some other parts I did not find particularly interesting for me personally, because, I am not a writer, but still I think it is a good nonfiction piece, and it was very easy to read. It was quite addictive. I read it in like a day and a half, and yeah, I really enjoyed the experience, actually, so I would recommend. It's actually one of the better Stephen King books that I've read. Then the book that I am currently reading right now and will be finishing tonight is this book that I honestly haven't seen. I don't think I've seen anyone else read or talk about this book on BookTube, which is strange. I think it is strange because I think this is a book that many people that I know on BookTube would really enjoy. And this book is Josephine Tey's Brat Farrar. I don't honestly remember where I got the recommendation for reading this book from. It might have been BookTube, it might have been somewhere, someone mentioned it, and just look at that cover. I mean, that cover is just, it's so interesting. So I sort of knew the premise going in. The premise is basically, as you can see in the cover, we have this estate, like manor, country house in England, the typical thing. And there's a family, and, the older brother, the eldest brother is getting hold of the family fortune, and then suddenly someone comes knocking at the door claiming to be that brother's twin, who was supposed or was presumed to have committed suicide many years ago. So now there's conflict, there's family conflict. Is he really who he's saying that he is? Although we know that he's an imposter, but what's gonna play out? So there's a lot of tension, like, are they gonna uncover him? Are they gonna find out that he's lying, that he's an imposter, or what's gonna happen? Now, I am almost finished with the book, and I will say that this is a book that I want to make a separate video about. I want to recommend this book to everyone. I think it's a great, it's sort of in the vein of Daphne du Maurier, although this is not as romantic in a way. This is more on the creepy but psychological thriller part of it. If that makes any sense, it's more. It plays more into the psychological thriller part of what makes Daphne du Maurier's books so great. And I'm really, really enjoying it. And then this weekend, I would like to start. It's gonna sound very ambitious, but I want to start a novel and a short story collection. I think I can balance both of those at the same time. So the novel is Olive Kitteridge by Elizabeth Strout. I know next to nothing about this novel. I know nothing about this author. I have heard the name Elizabeth Strout. I think she is very popular and very well received. I mean, hello, Pulitzer Prize winner. So I know that reputation, but I really know nothing about her in terms of what stories she writes about, or her tone, or her style, or the characters. I know nothing. I literally know nothing. I just know that people have recommended this book and many of her other works. And I have this copy of this book just lying there on a bookshelf, on that bookshelf actually. Don't you like my bookshelf? I kind of like it. Well, I really like it actually. I wouldn't have it if I didn't love it, right? Anyway, so Olive Kitteridge had been lying on my bookshelf for many years. Unfortunately, I have to say that. And now I really want to give it a go. I have no idea what it's about, but you know, if people recommended it to me and I decided to follow that recommendation, so much so that I sometime purchased a copy, then I might as well try it out. And the short story collection that I want to start is making me so excited. It's going to be Liberation Day by George Saunders. If you know me, if you know my channel at all, you will know that the name George Saunders induces tingles in my heart, in my just every fiber of my being screams, George Saunders, I love you. I really, really, really love George Saunders. He's my favorite short story writer ever. His short story collections are amazing. Every single one of them. He only has like a handful of them, like 4 or 5 of them. My favorite one is 10th of December. It's my favorite short story collection that I've ever read by anyone. I think it's just exactly the kind of short stories that I like. Similar to one another, but different, but thematically cohesive. But anyway, I'm not here to discuss that collection, 10th of December. Liberation Day is his new release. This book was just recently published. It is quite literally just fresh out of the oven. And I know nothing about this book, and that's making me so curious. I didn't even know this book was being published. I hadn't even heard that he was putting a new book out. I had no idea he was cooking this up. And so suddenly I just saw this was out, and I just, you know, my mind could not process that information. So I immediately bought it, and I decided to go completely blank. I don't want to know anything about this book. Going in, I just want to go in completely, you know, completely with a clean slate and just see what it is. But it is, you know, George Saunders and his new short story collection. So I could not be more excited. This is like having the new Harry Potter book or something. So that's what I will be reading this following week. And I will see you next week, probably next weekend, with my February wrap-up. Thanks for watching.